You're about to see why one broker called this possibly the best manganese discovery in the last 50 years. And here to brag about it is Brendan Cummins, the Managing Director of Black Canyon. Brendan, it's a pleasure to see you again. How are you?
Hi, Shay. Yep, we're well into 2026 now and ready and raring to go.
You certainly are. Listen, it's unfair that I'm going to ask you to top 2025 in a moment. So let's start with some of the absolute stunning achievements for Black Canyon last year. A manganese discovery that sort of floored the brokers all around the country. You raised in excess of $10 million to further this project, and the share price rallied really hard. Mate, what were some of the highlights for you last year?
Well, we had a tremendous year in 2025. Our share price went from, in June it was around 5 cents. We skyrocketed up through to almost 50 cents through October, November, and we did a cap raise at that time, which was really the best time to do it. It's obviously the high share price, non-dilutionary to current shareholders, and pocket some good money, which we'll utilise going into 2026. But Wandanya has been a fantastic discovery for the company. People do say, I think the term company maker is a bit overused in our industry, but with what we've found there, 3 kilometres of continuous mineralisation, it's very consistent. 4 to 8 metres thicknesses, around 30% manganese. It's outcropping to very, very shallowly dipping to the east. It can beneficiate that 30% up to 44% really quite simply using DMS. It's really been a fantastic discovery, and I'm looking forward to getting into it next year. The fact that we've got money in the bank, we've got a very tight capital structure, 160 million shares on issue. Where do I sign? It's been a great year for the company.
It certainly is. Now, I know it's a little bit wet, or it's a wet season up in the Pilbara where the Wandanya Project is located. So what are some of the exploration plans ahead for what is a company-making discovery?
So what we did towards the end of last year, we had a pretty busy field season. We were finishing off an RC drill program. We rolled straight into a diamond drill program for metallurgical test work. So that's in the lab now, and we should have results out over the next month or two as to how the processing has been completed. It's manganese, but also iron ore as well. So there's quite a bit of work to be done in there, and that'll really help flesh out a flow sheet for the project. So that's a massive tick for the project. We also did another heritage survey, really important, to be able to extend the mineralisation. We've drilled out 3 kilometres. We want to extend it to the north another 4 kilometres, and then also to the south another 2 kilometres. So there's a lot of heritage work that we've completed already. Also to the east, so that'll tie into that. And then next year we'll also, or early next year probably, March towards April, we'll start to roll the rig out again. And we plan to have that RC rig on site for about 3 months, doing a huge infill drill program on the 3 kilometres we have drilled out, but also extensions to the north and to the east and to the south. So let's see if we can keep on growing Wandanya. I'm a realist, but what this project has delivered has been phenomenal. It's going to end somewhere. Let's just hope we just keep on drilling it.
Let's be honest, Brendan, manganese isn't like gold. It's not a metal a lot of people are familiar with. And with the success you saw over 2025, has that sort of led to more people DMing you, so to speak, to inquire more about what Black Canyon's working on?
Yeah, look, absolutely. I'm getting I'm getting a lot of inquiries from companies looking for manganese offtake, because you have to bear in mind that within the Australian context, there's only 2 manganese operations running, and that's the Woody Woody mine, about 80 kilometres located to the north of us, and also Groote Island up in the Northern Territory. They produce a high grade, high quality manganese concentrate, which I think that's something that we are looking to produce from our site once we do the metallurgical test work and understand the flow sheet. So I think slowly the penny's starting to drop with a number of off-takers, investors, very interested in what we're doing. There's companies that I've never heard of that just ring us up and want to know when we're going to start delivering manganese. And then there's other companies who are probably a bit more well-known in the market that are also making inquiries. So look, it's a pretty exciting time for the project. I do feel it's a little bit early for us to start talking about offtake. We haven't got a resource yet, but as we work through 2026, I can only see that level of interest ramping up.
That's certainly a positive sign when offtake partners are looking for your phone number and not the other way around. Listen, Brendan, it sounds like 2026 is setting the company up for success. I want to thank you so much for your time today, and I look forward to future updates.
Thanks, Shay.